Jessica and Jared don't want everyone doing this to kiss. They want to do moose ears. So that's how you get them to kiss. Okay. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Becky. I'm absolutely honored to be standing up here as Jessica's matron of honor. Jessica is one of my absolute best friends, and I'm so happy to be celebrating this special day with her and Jared. Jessica is the one friend that makes me laugh so hard that I'm afraid I'm going to pee my pants. Whether it's saying something funny, making a joke, doing something really stupid, or talking in our southern voices, we always laugh. Like the time we thought we heard the cattle bus at MSU and ran as fast as we could so we didn't miss it. As we turned the corner, it wasn't a bus, but a huge fire truck. We stood there laughing hysterically. She's a friend that will pull your arm and make you get on the dance floor, even if you are the worst dancer in the world, which is me. I'm not afraid to admit it. She's a friend that will give you her honest opinion when you're wearing the most hideous outfit, and most importantly, she's a friend that is always there. I've been friends with Jared since 2nd grade, when he wore a starter jacket, had a bowl-cut hairstyle, and still thought girls had cooties. Since Jessica didn't go to Gates Elementary, we didn't become friends with her until middle school. This was when she had big bangs, braces, and wore a Tommy Hilfiger every single day. Yes. When we all went off to high school, us girls discovered something really cool. We could become friends with the older guys and suddenly have rides to and from school. The funny thing is, the guy that Jessica picked for this duty is now my husband. Even though they lived on the total opposite ends of town. Anyway, when it became time to start thinking about the homecoming dance, most of us freshman girls snagged dates with older guys that had wheels. We didn't have to worry about our moms taking us to the dance. Jared was the one guy that took it to heart and would say things like, "Oh, we're not cool enough anymore?" And he really was heartbroken about it. But, of course, Jessica was the faithful friend and went to the dance with Jared as friends. Who took you guys? Yeah. They went to Qigong. When it came time to apply to college, most of us wanted to go to MSU. Jessica and I decided to be roommates, and we're so excited to move into our very own dorm room. Jared and Brent were excited too, but they were just excited to meet the chicks and drink lots of beer. We got to MSU and found out where we were living. It was in the building right next to Brent and Jared's, and it wasn't planned. I don't think they were very thrilled to have us tagging along and ruining their chances of finding the ladies. Little did Jared know, the lady he would marry would be the one right in front of him the whole time. After living in extremely close quarters for a school year and not killing each other, Jess and I decided to move into an apartment with 2 other girlfriends. Jared would always come over to raid our cupboards, do his laundry, or watch the newest chick flick that he couldn't watch in front of the guys. We always tried to hook Jessica and Jared up, and she would always say, "Ew, that's like kissing my brother." One day, Jared walked into our apartment and went straight to Jessica's desk. She got a coat on, and they walked out the door. I remember sitting there on the couch with the girls. Corey, maybe you remember this. And Kristen. And she got on her coat, and they walked out the door. Oops. We all looked at each other. Was Jessica finally giving Jared a chance? Did they just go out to dinner together? Are they a couple? We were totally confused. Obviously, Jessica didn't tell us her and Jared had taken their friendship to the next level. Apparently, it was a secret. We figured it out ourselves, and the rest is history. I have some advice for the newlyweds. Jessica, while Jared is watching football Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, use this time to do things for yourself. It's the perfect time to do some shopping guilt-free. Jared just may spend a lot of time on Facebook. I heard you refer to it as her job today. But she does know everything about everyone. So it's okay. And she was even on Facebook in the limo on the way here. Jessica, no matter how much you complain Jared, last but not least, Jessica will always be right. Always. You two have been such wonderful friends to me all these years. I am incredibly happy for you guys that you guys finally gave love a chance and are now living your fairy tale. I wish you nothing but the best, and when the newness of being married wears off, I hope happiness never fades. I love you both.
Well done.
Take this. Videotape Brent. I can't do it anymore.
Good evening.
Are you kidding me?
Welcome to the roast of Jared Newman. First of all, I want to say Pam Noodle, Mrs. Volker, Sonia, Grandma Mary, Mrs. Gal, Grandma Gal, y'all are beautiful. And my name is Brent Scott. I'm known Jared for about 20 years at this point. We met in Mrs. Rainville's early 5 clubs. And I know many of you, when you hear that, you probably think to yourself, that sounds absolutely terrible. Terrible. And I'll be the first to say that there has been times where it's been tough. If you know Jared, you'll know that every single time I went over to their house, which was quite a bit, every time Pam said, "Hey, Jared, what do you want to eat?" He said, "Spaghetti." Every time. And if you know Jared, the one thing that I do remember about him is that he makes he's a very competitive guy, and he makes a lot of bets. But I would always beat him, and he would never live up on those bets. And he still, to this day, owes me 7 Bo Jackson rookie cards. Just want you to know. And then one of the other things that always comes to my mind that I still can't seem to let go is the fact that the Noodles never had cable. So I had to listen to the Red Wings Avalanche brawl over a staticky, transistor radio. Yeah, and I think Jerry still listens to that to this day. So, however, I had to say, it has been tough, but the biggest thing is when we've been able to make it work, and when two guys have the maturity level of 7th graders combined, you do all right. So, one of the things that I really came to admire about Jared over our 20 years of friendship is he always pushed me to be a better person. And he was so competitive, and he was so smart. But little do you all know, I found out the secret to all of his success in 7th grade, early on. We were at Rodney Collins Field weighing in for the lightweight football team. Yeah. I don't know if he knows what's about to come up. And the cutoff to heavyweight and lightweight was 125 pounds. And I was standing behind Jared waiting anxiously, thinking, I hope my buddy can play with me. And I'm looking over his shoulder, and he comes to 127 pounds. And I think, shucks. Bummer. But sure enough, he played lightweight the whole season. And I was thinking to myself, he's been cheating all along. And Rich Rodriguez was not our coach, believe it or not.
Awesome.
Oh, anyway, so move on, progress through life. And I started writing this speech, and every time I kept trying to include some inappropriate, sorry mom, and embarrassing moments throughout the speech, and then I realized that every single time I was a part of it. So instead of tarnishing my own name, which I don't want to do, I decided to, like Becky, give Jared and Jessica more. So Jessica, a couple pieces of advice as well. Listen closely. the one thing that used to drive me insane about Jared is that whenever you need to be somewhere, you're going to want to give him a good 2 to 3 hours heads up, especially if he needs to take a shower. Because one thing that he does is you say, hey Jared, we got to go. And then he'll get into his cutoff. And then he'll get into his boxers. And then he'll go sit down at the computer. Okay. He's just at the computer, so we know. And he'd say, Jared, we got to go. So then he'll get up and walk into the living room, and he starts doing this booty dance in his only boxers. I say, Jared, we have to go. So sure enough, about a half hour later, he'll finally get in the shower, and we can get out. And the second thing, speaking of showers, is I would recommend hiding your razor. Back in college, I always used to steal Corey Hoover's razor until the time that I walked in and Jared was shaving his back with it. Yeah. So that was the end of that. And then the last thing that is, if you ever have leftovers, if you all ever go out to eat, is I would highly recommend hiding it. When Jared and I were seniors in college, or high school, we went to South Padre for spring break. And we went out to dinner, all the group of us went out and had a good dinner. And for some reason, I just wasn't hungry, so I got a burger and I got a box to go, whatever. But I was drunk. So anyway, so we go home later on that night and, I have a couple of cocktails or whatever. And I'm thinking to myself, all I could think about was that juicy, mouth-watering, bacon cheeseburger waiting for me in the refrigerator. It was going to be fantastic. And as I opened the fridge, there's nothing there. No, something's going on. So I look to my left, and as I'm, muttering the words, "Who ate my cheeseburger?" I see Jared gobbling down the last bite, the whole thing down. It was almost groomed for the divorce of our friendship. Believe it or not, it was pretty serious. It was bad. But I'm glad to see Jessica laughing. If she wasn't, I know she'd be staring at me right now thinking, shut your mouth. I'm going to kill you. The look that she gives Jared about 95% of the time. And I must add that one of the worst things about this wedding being over is I've been able to hold Jessica hostage for weeks, months. Every time she gets mad at me, I just say, Jessica, I will ruin that speech. I lost it. It's gone. Now she's got me again. But anyway, in all seriousness, all jokes aside, could everyone please raise their glasses for me? Jared, I really want you to know that tonight you are the best man, bro. And this adventure has been amazing. And I would not have wanted to do this adventure with anyone else. And more importantly, Jessica, I want you to know that I wouldn't want Jared to continue his adventure with anyone else in this world. And I think I can speak for all the guys in the room when I say that it's tough when a beautiful and ambitious woman gets taken off the market. And Jared, I think I can speak for all the women in the room when I say, oh well, buddy, just another day. Cheers, everybody.
Alright, what do I do now? Can you stop this?
Turn it off.
How do I turn it off?
Thank you, Brent. Finally,
How do I turn it off?
Oh yeah, Uncle Greg.
How do I turn it off?
Justice Uncle Greg, are you here, sir? will you please do us the honor?